In this video, we are going to discuss about the uses of cat command. Cat is the most commonly used command in Unix or Linux operating system. There are several uses of cat command. Let us discuss all the uses one by one. The first use of the cat command is it is useful in order to create a file with some content. So here after the cat command we have to use greater than symbol after greater than name of the file. So now we have to enter some content into the file. Let the first line is file1 line 1. Let the second line of the content is file1 line 2. Let we have the next line as the blank line. Let the last line of the content is file1 line n. File1 line n. In Linux, Control D specifies end of the file character. Control D. So now we have to click on Control D. So that is nothing but end of the file character. So in this way we can create a file. Let us create one more file. Cat greater than file2. Next let us enter some data into the file. So file2 line 1. File2 line 1. Let the second line is file2 line 2. Next let us assume that we have some blank line. Let the last line is file2 line n. Next we have to click on Control D. So Control D specifies end of the file. So this is the first advantage of the cat command. We can create a file. We can create a file with some content. Next let us use ls command in order to list the files. So we have two files present in the directory. So file1, file2. Let us display file1 content. The second advantage of the cat command is it is useful in order to display the content of your file. In order to view the content of your file. In order to view the content of your file, the syntax is cat space file name. Here we have two files. The first one is file1. So that is nothing but content of file1. Next we have another file. So cat file2, cat file2. So now we have the contents of the second file. So this is the second advantage of the cat command. So we can view or we can display the contents of the file with the help of the cat command. Next, if we want to display the contents of a file beginning with line numbers. So each line has to start with a line number. Then we have to use -n. So cat -n space, let name of the file is file1. Then all the lines will get displayed with a new line number. Here n stands for new line number. If you observe here, the first line is 1, the second line is starting with 2, third line is starting with 3, fourth line is starting with 4. But the major problem with -n is here the third line is the blank line. For the blank line also we have the line numbers. If we want to remove the line numbers for the blank line, then instead of -n option, let us use -b. So -b stands for elimination of line numbers for the blank line. So cat -b space file1. If we observe here the third line is the blank line. So for the third line, no line number is displayed. So this is the third advantage. So likewise, there are several options which are available in the cat command, but these two are the major options. So first one is -n, second one is -b. These two are the major options. And the third advantage of the cat command is we can display contents of the multiple file. So cat file1 space file2. So now first contents of file1 will get displayed, and after that contents of file2 will get displayed. So here first file1 content got displayed and then file2 content got displayed. So this is another advantage of the cat. So by using cat we can display contents of the multiple files. We can view the contents of the multiple files. Okay. And another advantage of the cat command is it is useful in order to first let us see what are the files present in the directory. So we have two files are there, file1 and file2. So by using cat command we can copy the contents of one file into another file. So here file 3 is not present. So whenever we use a statement like this, then what will happen is this file 1 is nothing but the source file. This file 3 is nothing but the destination file. So now the contents of the file 1 will be copied to contents of the file 3. So let us click on the enter. So let us click on the enter. So if you click on ls, so now another file is created, that is file 3. So what does file 3 contains? File 3 simply contains the contents of file 3 only, the contents of file 1 only, the contents of file 1 only. So this is another advantage of the cat command. Now let us see another advantage of the cat command. So we can copy contents of multiple files to another file with the help of the cat command. So here we have two files, so file 1 and file 2. So whenever we use this greater than symbol, then what will happen is the contents of file 1 and file 2 will be copied to the file 4. Now what does file 4 contains? The file 4 contains the contents of file 1 and the contents of file 2. So it simply specifies that by using cat command, we can concatenate the contents of two files and we can store the result in a third file. So that's why this is called as cat. So cat stands for concatenation. By using cat, we can perform the concatenation. So now file 4 contains the contents of file 1 followed by file 2. Okay. Now let us click on ls. So now another file got created, that is file 4. So now let's see what does file 4 contains. So cat file 4. So file 4 contains the contents of file 1 followed by file 2. The contents of file 1 followed by file 3 followed by file 2. Now let us see another advantage of the cat command. By using cat command, we can append the contents of a file into another file. Okay. Here we have a file called file 1. Okay. So if we click on like this, if we press on like this, cat greater than file 1, then what will happen is we can enter some data. The data will be appended to the file 1. Okay. Here we can append some data. Hi, I am appending some data. Hi, I am appending some data. So next, we know that Control D specifies end of the file character. Now what will happen is file 1 already contains some data. So at the end of this, hi, I am appending some data, that will be appended. Okay. So if you display contents of file 1, now let us see here. At the end of the file, here hi, I am appending some data. So that was displayed. So that is the advantage of the greater than. By using greater than symbol, we can append the contents of the source file into the destination. Here the source file means we are entering some data from the keyboard. So likewise, we can give some file name also. Okay. So various files are there. So here let us use clear command. So cat, let me have file 1. So this is nothing but file 1 content. Okay. Now let us see what is file 2. Let us create another file. So cat file. So I am creating another file. So how to create a file? Cat greater than file 5. So cat greater than file 5. Okay. Hello. Okay. So this is nothing but content of that file. So Control D. Okay. Now our target is we want to append the content of file 1 to file 5. Okay. So for that, what is the statement? Cat file 1 greater than file 5. So now what will happen? File 1 will become the source file, whereas file 5 will become the destination file. So now the contents of file 1 will be appended to file 5. So already file 5 contains hello. So at the end of the hello, this content will get appended. So file 1 line 1 to hi, I am appending some data. So that will be appended. Okay. So now if you display file 5, so initially we have file 5 content is hello. So at the end of the hello, this content is appended. Why? Because this is nothing but the content of the file 1. So likewise, we can append multiple files contents also. So if we execute a statement like this, cat file 1, file 2 greater than file 5. So if we execute a statement like this, then what will happen? At file 1 content and file 2 content will be appended to file 5. Okay, will be appended to file 5. So if we observe file 5, so initially file 5 contents will get printed, and after that file 1 and file 2 content will be appended. So this is the difference between greater than and greater than greater than. Greater than is for copying purpose, whereas greater than is for appending purpose. So these are the several advantages of the cat command. In the next video, we will see about make directory, remove directory, and remove files. Okay. In this video, we are going to discuss about two directory related commands, mkdir and rmdir. First, let's see about mkdir. mkdir stands for make directory. What is a directory? Directory means a collection of files and it contains other directories also. So those directories are known as subdirectories. So a directory contains a collection of files and other subdirectories. So again, those subdirectory contains some files and some subdirectories. So likewise, the file system will be available. Okay. First, let us see what are the files which are present in the directory. Initially, we don't have any files present in the system. So with the help of the make directory command, let us create a directory. Mainly, there are three advantages of the make directory. The first advantage of the make directory command is it is useful in order to create a single directory. So here name of the directory is directory 1. So mkdir space dir1. So if you type ls, then here we have in the blue color we have directory 1. But directory 1 doesn't contain any files. So if you want to create any files in the directory 1, then we have to navigate to the directory 1. So that should be done with the help of cd command. cd stands for change directory. So we will be navigated to directory 1. So previously here after MSI we don't have any directory. So this is the root directory. Sudhakar Atchala @MSI. This is the root directory. Whereas this is our current directory now. Directory 1. So in this we can create a set of files. We know how to create a file. So cat greater than file 1. So like that we can, now we have to enter some data. So hi, hello. Next in Unix, control D specifies end of the file. Okay. So now inside directory 1, we have file 1 content is there. Okay. If you type ls, then what are the files present in the directory 1? We have file 1 which is present in the directory 1. Again, inside directory 1, we can create n number of subdirectories. So let us assume that here we have created a directory called sub1. Now inside directory 1, sub1 directory is created. Okay. So if we click on ls, so now we have file 1 as well as sub1. So in this way we can create a directory, and again in that directory we can create several files and subdirectories. So if we want to navigate to the previous directory, then we have to type cd space ... so that we will be navigated to its previous directory. So this is the previous directory. So I am clicking on the clear so that all the statements will get cleared. Okay. So like this is the first advantage. By using make directory, we can create a single directory. And the second advantage of the make directory command is by using make directory command, we can create multiple directories also. Here I am creating 4 directories with the help of the make directory command. Directory 2, directory 3, directory 4 and directory 5. So if we click on ls, now in the home we have 5 directories are present. So directory 2, directory 3, directory 4 and directory 5. So this is the second advantage of the make directory. We can create multiple directories with the help of a single statement. And the third advantage is we can create a directory structure with the help of the make directory. So for that we have to use as -p, where p stands for parent directory. Let us assume that here we have A is the parent directory, grandparent, and B is the grandparent children. So B is a subdirectory which is present in A. Next to C is a subdirectory which is present in B. Next to D is a subdirectory which is present in C. So likewise we can create a directory structure with the help of the -p option. Okay. So for that, if we use ls space minus R, then it recursively shows what are the directories which are present in the directory. So if we observe here, so under A we have B, next under AB we have C, next under ABC we have D. So likewise several directories are there. Here A is the grandparent, so B is the parent, C is the child, and D is C child. Okay, so what is the home directory? A is the home directory, A is the parent directory, so B is the child which is present in A, C is the child which is present in D, next D is the child which is present in C. So these are the major advantages of the make directory. First advantage is we can create a single directory. Second advantage is we can create multiple directories. Third advantage is we can create some directory structure with the help of the make directory. For creating the directory structure, we have to use just -p option, where P stands for parent directory. So in all the directories, directory 1 already contains another subdirectory as well as a file, whereas here directory 2 also contains some subdirectories. Directory 2, directory 3, directory 4, directory 5 are empty directories. Whereas A is not a empty directory. A contains B, next again B contains C. So here the empty directories are directory 2, directory 3, 4 and 5, whereas directory 1 and A contains some childrens. Now let us see about remove directory command. By using remove directory command, we can remove a directory. We can remove an empty directory. Here what are the empty directories? Directory 2 is empty directory, so we can remove that directory. But we cannot remove A here. Why? Because already A contains B. So that is the error here. Fail to remove A, directory not empty. So likewise it is not possible to remove directory 1 also. Why? Because directory 1 contains a file as well as another directory. Okay. So this is the first advantage. With the help of our remove directory command, we can remove a single directory. And another advantage of the remove directory is we can remove multiple directories. We can remove multiple empty directories. Here directory 3 is empty directory, directory 4 is empty directory, directory 5 is empty directory. So we can remove all the empty directories. So if we press ls, then we don't have directory 2, directory 3, directory 4 and directory 5. So how we can remove a directory which contains some content? So in that occasion we have to use this rm command. So rm space, we have to use an option called R. If we use R, then it recursively removes all the subdirectories which are present in that A, which are present in the directory. So rm space minus R space A, then all the subdirectories and also A gets deleted. Okay. So if we click on ls, then if you observe here, A directory got deleted. So likewise, if you want to remove directory 1 also, then what we have to do? So remove -R directory 1. If you don't use -R option, then the content, then the directory won't get deleted. Why? Because R stands for recursively. If we use recursively option, then only all the subdirectories and all the files which are present in that directory will get deleted. So if you see here, remove directory 1, it is a directory. That means remove command is mainly useful for removing the files. But here we want to remove all the contents which are present in the directory 1. So we have to use this R option. Then then everything will get deleted which is present in the directory 1. We will discuss more about remove in the next video. That is how we can remove the files. And one more advantage of the remove directory is, so before that let us use make directory. So make directory, let us assume that we have created a directory structure like this. So if we click on ls, then we will have A. If we want to display everything, then click on -R option. Then, so here we have A. So in A we have B. In AB we have C. So if we want to delete that entire directory structure, then we can use -P option. So rmdir space -P space A/B/C. Then what will happen is that the entire directory structure will get deleted. So these three are the major advantages of the remove directory. We can remove a single directory, we can remove multiple directories, as well as we can remove the entire directory structure with the help of the -p option. If the directory, but with the help of rmdir command, we can remove only empty directories. Suppose if the directory already contains some content, then we have to use this rm command, remove command. After that, we have to use this -r option. So this is about make directory, remove directory. In the next video, we'll see about how we can remove the files, copy command and move command. In this video, we are going to discuss about three commands. First one is copy command, second one is move command, third one is remove command. First, let us see about copy command. Before that, let's see what are the files present in the directory. So initially the directory is empty. So let us create a file. So with the help of cat command, here we are creating the file. Let name of the file is file1. So let here the content of file1 is I. So next press Ctrl D. So Ctrl D specifies end of the file. Next let us create one more file. Cat greater than, let name of the file is file9. Let the content here is hello. So Ctrl D specifies end of the file. Okay. So now let us see the files present in the directory. So we have two files present in the directory. File1 contains hi, file9 contains hello. Now let us see the advantages of the cat command. The advantages of the copy command. The first advantage of the copy command is it is useful in order to copy the contents of one file to another file. So file1, file2. So here the source file is file1, whereas the destination file is file2. Here the destination file doesn't exist. Doesn't exist in the directory. So if the destination file doesn't exist, then what will happen is a new file will be created with this name and the contents of the source file will be copied to the destination file. Now file2 contains the contents of the file1. So if you observe, if you see ls here, so now we have three files present in the directory. So file1, file2, file9. Now let's see what is the content of file2. So file2 contains file1 content only. So what is file1 content? File1 content is hi. So file2 should also contains hi only. Hi only. Now let us check. Let us execute the copy command one more time. So copy. Let here the source file is file9, whereas the destination file is file2. Destination file is file2. So now what will happen? Here the destination file is file2, but file2 is already existed file. In that occasion, what will happen is file2 contents will be overwritten. So what is the content of file2? Hi. So hi will be overwritten and the contents of file9 will be stored in file2. So what is the content of file9? Hello. So now file2 contains hello. So now file2 contains hello. So if you display file2 now, it displays hello. Okay, this is the first advantage of the copy command. It is useful in order to copy the contents of one file to another file. If destination file is new file, then what will happen? A new file will be created and source file content will be copied to the destination file. Suppose if the destination file is already existed file, then its content will be overwritten. Okay. Now let us see another advantage of the copy command. By using copy command, we can copy a single or multiple files into a directory. So for that, let us create a directory. So here dir1 means directory. So in blue color we have dir1. So dir1 is a directory, and we have three files present in the directory. We have three files present in our current directory: file1, file2, file9. So another advantage of the copy command is by using copy command, we can copy single or multiple files into the directory. So now file1 and file2 will get copied to the directory 1. Okay. If we check directory 1, ls directory 1, then it shows file1 and file2. It shows file1 and file2. So this is another advantage of the copy command. Now let's see another advantage of the copy command. By using copy command, we can copy the files from one directory to another directory. Here there is no need to create the source directory. Okay, here source directory is optional. Here we have to use an option called -r. R stands for recursive. So it recursively copies all the directories and files which are present in directory 1 to destination directory. Let the destination directory is directory 2. So now directory 2 contains directory 1 content. So what does directory 1 contains? It contains file 1 and file 2. So now directory 2 should also contains file 1 and file 2. Directory 2 should also contains file 1 and file 2. We have to use -r option. If you don't use -r option, then this command won't get executed. Why? Because here the source directory may contains some subdirectories as well as it may contains collection of files. So we have to recursively copy all the files and directories present in source directory to destination directory. So if you see here, -r not specified. So here -r option is compulsory. So this is another advantage of the copy command. Now let us see the next advantage of the copy command. Before that, let's see what are the files present in the directory. In the directory we have file 1, file 2, file 9. Okay. Here another advantage of copy command is we can use a meta character called star. Meta character, that character can also be called as wild character or meta character. It specifies that the files which are starting with F. So after F, we can have any number of characters. There is no restriction on that. But the file has to begins with F. So copy all them into the directory. So let us assume that the directory is directory 3. But if we want to execute this option, we have to create the directory compulsory. Let us create the directory first and then execute this command. So now all the files starting with F are copied into the directory 3. So if we check directory 3, then directory 3 contains all the files starting with F. So likewise, let us assume that here our directory contains a collection of text files. Okay. So file 1.txt, file 2.txt, file 3.txt, like that. Okay. So if we want to copy all them into a directory, then we can write like this. So here the star specifies that before this dot, we can have any number of characters. There is no constraint on that. Okay. So the files which ends with .text are copied into the directory 3. So this is about direct copy command. Okay. Now let us see the options present in the copy command. So mainly we have two options are there. The first option is -i. I stands for interactive option. Interactive option. So when this option is useful, if the destination file already contains some contents, if the destination file already contains some content, then it interactively asks the user in order to overwrite or not. If we press F, then the contents will be overwritten. Suppose if we press other than Y, then the contents will be overwritten. So we can use -i option only when this destination file is already existed file. Here file 2 is already existed file. So it asks us like this, overwrite file 2. If you press Y, then what will happen is file 2 content will be overwritten. So now file 2 contains the contents of the file 1. Okay. Whereas if the destination file is a new file, so let here the file is file 3. Here the destination file is a new file. So here the destination file is new file. So what will happen? There is no overwriting here. So no message will get printed. So it simply copies the contents of the file 1 to file 3. Okay. And the next option is recursive option, -r option. Already we have seen about recursive option. It is useful in order to recursively copy the contents of one directory to another directory. Here the destination directory, it is not needed to create destination directory. Automatically this command creates the directory. So now what will happen is the contents of directory 1 will copy to the directory 9. Okay. If we observe directory 9, then what will happen? Directory 9 contains the contents of directory 1 only. So this is about copy command. So copy command is mainly useful for 4 purposes: to copy the contents of one file to another file, and to copy multiple files into a directory, to copy the contents, to copy the files from one directory to another directory, and we can use some meta characters. There are two options present in the copy command. First option is -i option. -i means there is an interaction. If the destination file is already existed file, then there is some interaction. We have to press either Y or no. And the second option is -r. -r option is mainly useful in order to recursively copy the contents of the directory, to the other directory. Now let us see about move command. So before that, let us see what are the files present in the directory. We have 4 files are there. Here, let us see the first advantage of the move command. Move file 1. Let the destination file is file 4. Here, if we observe ls here file 4 is not existed. The major advantage of the move command is it renames file 1 as file 4. So that means whenever we use this move command, then the source file will get deleted. The source file will get deleted, and the contents of the file 1 will be available in the file 4. Okay. So if you press ls now file 1 is no longer available. Now file 1 is no longer available, but we have file 4. Okay. So file 1 is no longer available, but we have file 4. So this is the first advantage of the move command. It is useful in order to rename a file. And the second advantage of the move command is it is useful in order to rename a directory. Here we have directory 9. Before that, let's see what is the content of file 4. File 4 simply contains file 1 content only. So file 1 content is I. So file 4 should also contains I only. Okay. And before that, let's see what are the files present in directory 9. So directory 9 contains 2 files, file 1 and file 2. Let us see the second advantage of the move command. It is useful in order to rename a directory. So whenever we execute this command, then directory 9 files are moved to the directory 9. So that means directory 9 is no longer available. Directory 9 is no longer available. Directory 9 will be cutted from our directory. Okay. Directory 9 will be no longer available. Now directory 99 contains file 1 and file 2. So if we observe ls, now directory 9 is no longer available, but we have directory 9, directory 99. So what does directory 99 contains? Directory 99 simply contains directory 9 files. Directory 9 files are file 1 and file 2. So this is another advantage of the move command. We can rename a file, we can rename a directory. And another advantage of the move command is we can move one or multiple files into a directory. Here we have several files are there. So we can move all them into a directory. Okay. We can move all them into a directory. Before that, let us create a directory. So make directory, directory 4. Make directory, directory 4. So now we have directory 4. Directory 4 doesn't contains any files. Directory 4 is an empty directory. Directory 4 doesn't contains any files. Now let us move file 4 and file 9 into directory 4. Into directory 4. Now file 4 and file 9 will get deleted from our current directory. So now file 4 and file 9 are no longer available. They will be stored in directory 4. So if we observe ls here, now file 4 and file 9 are no longer available in our current directory. So they will be stored in which directory? Directory 4. Now let's see what are the files present in the directory 4. Let's see what are the files present in the directory 4. Directory 4 contains file 4 and file 9. Now let us see the options in move command. So here mainly we have only one option, that is -i option. -i option. So we know about -i option. If the destination file is already existed file, then it will ask us for confirmation whether do you want to overwrite or not. Whether do you want to overwrite or not. Okay. Here we don't have move -i minus file 1, but here we don't have file 1 here. Here we have only file 2 and file 3. So file 2 and file 3. Here file 3 is already existing file. So it asks us for the confirmation. Do you want to overwrite or not? Okay. So if you press Y, then overwriting will be done. Otherwise, no overwriting will be done. So this is one option here. Here in move command, -r option is not available. -r option is not available. Why? Because we can move from one directory to, we can move the files from one directory to another directory without minus R option. So move directory 3, directory 4. Now what will happen is all the files from directory 3 are moved to the directory 4. So there is no need to use minus R option. So this is about move command. Now let us see about remove command. Let us see about remove command. Before that, let us copy this content. So file 3, let us copy this one into file 4. Let us copy file 2 content into file 4. File 2 content into file 4. File 1. Let us copy file 1 into some file 4. Let us see the files now. Yeah, we have file 1, file 2, file 3, file 4, and we have 4 directories. Let us see the advantages of the remove command one by one. Remove command is useful in order to remove a single file. Okay, so rm space file 1. If we observe ls now, then file 1 is no longer available. File 1 got deleted. And second advantage of the remove command is we can remove multiple files also. Instead of single files, we can also remove multiple files. Now file 2 and file 3 are no longer available. And another advantage of the remove command is if we want to remove all the files present in the directory, then we can use remove star option. So before that I am copying this one into some other file. I am copying file 3 into some other file. And now let us see the files. Let us see the files. Now we have 3 files and 4 directories. So if we use an option called star, then what will happen is all the files present in the directory will get removed, but directories won't get removed. Directory 1, directory 2, directory 4, directory 99 won't get removed. Simply it removes only the files. So if you observe here, cannot remove directory 1, directory 2, directory 3. Okay. If we see ls here, so all the files present in the directory got removed. So this is another advantage of the remove command. And if we want to remove a directory, then what we can do is we can use an option called minus R. Minus R means it recursively removes all the subdirectories and the files which are present in the directory. So rm space minus R space directory 1. So then what will happen is if you see ls, then directory 1 is no longer available. Suppose if we want to remove all the directories, then what we can do is after the R option we have to use a star. If we use a star, then all the directories which are present in our directory will get removed. Okay, so if we observe ls now the directories, all the directories got deleted. In remove we can use minus I option also. If we want to remove already existing file, then we can use minus I option, interactive option. So we have to press Y or N. If you press Y, then that file will get removed. If you press other than Y, then that file won't get removed. So this is about copy command, move command and remove. In this video, we are going to discuss about WC command. WC stands for word count command. So WC command is mainly useful in order to count number of lines, number of words and number of characters present in the given file. The syntax is like this: WC space, option space, file name. If you don't use any option, then WC command displays number of lines, words and characters present in the given line. So now let us see an example for that. Here we have created a file called file. So cat space file, WC space file. So it will display number of lines. So totally here we have 3 lines are there. So this is the first line, second line, third line. This next space, this 8 means number of words. So first line contains 2 words, second line contains 3 words, third line contains 3 words. And this 28 means number of characters. Here while calculating number of characters, the spaces and new lines will also be counted. If we consider the first line, the length of the first line is hi means 3, hello means 5. So 3 plus 5 means 8. Here we have a space between hi and hello. After the hello, we typed some new line character. So that is also a character. So the length of the first line is 10. Whereas the length of the second line is 3. 3 plus 1, 4. 4 plus 1, 5. Here we have a space 6. Here we have a space 7. Here we have new line character. So 10 plus 8 means 18. 18. If we consider the third line, 1. 1 plus 2 means 3. 3 plus 4 means 7. Next here we have 1. Here we have a space 1. Here we have new line character. So 18 plus 10 means 28. After that, the name of the file will get printed. Here the name of the file is file. So that is the advantage of the WC command. So first, if you don't use any option, number of lines, space, number of words, space, number of characters, space, file name will get printed. Let us see the options here. The first option is -l. If you use -l, it prints only number of lines. If you use -w, it prints only number of words. If you use -c, it prints only the number of characters. Or we can use the combinations. If you use -lw, then the number of lines as well as number of words will get printed. If you use wc also, the number of if you use wc, then number of words and number of characters will get printed. So likewise, we can use any combination. So let us work with all the combinations. So wc space minus l space 5. So we got number of lines 3. wc space minus w space 5. So file totally contains 8 words. So we got 8 and 8 as the output. wc space minus c space 5. So number of characters are 28. So we got 28 as the output. Next to wc space minus lw space 5. So we will get number of lines as well as words. If we use minus wl also, we will get number of lines and words only. LW or WL means first number of lines will get printed, next number of words will get printed. If we use minus CW or WC, so first number of words will get printed and then number of characters will get printed. Number of words are 8, number of characters are 28. So first we will get 8 and then we will get 28 and then 5. So here the default option is this one, LWC. So lines, if you don't use, also we will get all the specified lines, words and characters. So we got 3, 8, 28 as the output. Or if we use minus WLC also, we will get the same output. There is no change here. First we will get number of lines, number of words, number of characters. And here we have an option called minus capital L. If we use minus capital L, it will display length of the longest line. Here the length of the longest line is 9 characters. So we got 9 as the output. If we want, we can work with multiple files also. For that, already another file is created with the name file2. So let us work with those 2 files now. So wc space file2. Then what will happen is, in the first line, first file, number of lines, number of words, number of characters will get printed. In the second line, second file, number of lines, number of words and number of characters will get printed. And automatically it will display third line. Name of the third line is total. Total will display total number of lines. 3 plus 2 means 5. Next to total number of words, 8 plus 2 means 10. Total number of characters, 28 plus 10 means 38. So this is the usage of WC command. We will use WC in shell programming very frequently. So WC is very important command. So that's all for WC command. In this video, we are going to discuss about CD command. CD stands for change directory. Change directory. By using CD command, we can change from one directory to another directory. So before executing this command, let us create a directory structure with the help of mkdir command. So mkdir space. Here, in order to create a directory structure, we have to use an option called -p, where p stands for parent. Let here parent directory is directory 1. In directory 1, let we have a subdirectory called directory 2. In directory 2, let we have a subdirectory called directory 3. In directory 3, we have a subdirectory called directory 4. In directory 4, we have a subdirectory called directory 5. So if you want to view the contents of directory 1 recursively, then we have to use this -r option, ls-r directory 1. If you observe here, so directory 1 contains directory 2, directory 2 contains directory 3, directory 3 contains directory 4, directory 4 contains directory 5. Let us see here, let us see the advantage of cd command one by one. Let us execute pwd. Pwd stands for present working directory. So here the present working directory is, here the slash specifies that root directory. Next we have home directory. Inside the home, use Sudhakar Atchala. So this is nothing but owner or user of that account. Okay. Let us use the cd command. Cd space. Here already we have a directory structure called directory 1. Inside that we have directory 2. Inside that we have directory 3. Inside that we have directory 4. Inside that we have directory 4. So if we execute this here, if we observe here, so we have navigated to directory 1, directory 2, directory 3, directory 4, directory 5. If we execute pwd command, then we will get the output from root directory. This slash is nothing but root directory. To what is the recent directory? Directory 5. Okay. So if we execute here, then we will get the output from slash means this root directory. Next we have home. Next Sudhakar Atchala. Next directory 1, directory 2, directory 3, directory 4, directory 5. Let us see here, totally we have 6 options are there in the cd command. Let us see all the options one by one. Cd space dot symbol. What is the use of a single dot? By using single dot symbol, we can change us to current directory. We can change us to current working directory only. So before execution of this command, what is our present working directory? From root to directory 5. So after executing cd dot also, we won't change us. The directory won't change us here. If we execute pwd command, then we will get the output from our root directory to directory 5. So cd space dot, this is useless command. Why? Because before execution as well as after execution, we are getting the same output only. The directory won't change us. The current working directory won't change us. This is the first advantage of the cd command. Cd space dot means we can change to the current working directory. It is useless command. Next option, cd space double dot. If we use double dot, then what will happen is it changes to its parent directory. So what is directory 5? Now we are at directory 5. Directory 5 parent directory is directory 4. So cd space dot dot. So if we use pwd, if you observe here, what is our current working directory? Directory 4. If we execute pwd, then we will get the output from root directory to directory 4. Now we are at directory 4. So if we execute cd space dot dot, then we will be navigated to its parent directory. What is the directory 4 parent directory? Directory 3. So we will get directory 3 as the output. Next, if we execute this one more time, then we will be moved to the directory 3 like that. Okay. So by using cd space dot dot symbol, we can move to its parent directory. Let us assume that we want to move to different levels. Then how we can achieve? I want to move to 2 levels up. So a level is represented with the help of dot dot. So after this dot dot, if you want to have another level, then it should be ends with forward slash symbol. After that, this dot dot. So the first dot, it specifies the first level. So every level ends with slash symbol. Okay. And after this dot dot specifies second level. So we will move 2 levels up. So 1 level up means directory 3 parent directory. That is directory 2. Whereas 2 levels up means we will get directory 1. We will get directory 1. So likewise, we can move any number of levels up. So if we want to move to another level up, then we have to use just dot dot like that. Okay. Here I want to move 2 levels up so that our current directory will become directory 1. Okay. So if you see here, so dot dot slash means 1 directory up. So directory 3 parent directory, directory 2. Next, this dot dot specifies its parent directory. Its parent directory is directory 1. Okay. So that is the use of dot dot slash. So without the slash, we can't use this command. We can't write 4 dot symbols, 5 dot symbols continuously. So we must use 2 dots only. After one level, it should ends with forward slash. Here after this, we don't have any level. So that's why there is no need of another slash symbol here. Okay. So if we observe PWD here, then what is the output now? We will get the output from root to directory 1. Directory 1. So we'll get the output from root to directory 1. So let us navigate to its parent directory. So its parent directory is that level, Sudhakar Atchala. So if you navigate to, so if you observe PWD here, what is the current directory? Root to Sudhakar Atchala. So now we are at Sudhakar Atchala, our username. So if you type cd space dot dot, then Sudhakar Atchala parent directory is home directory. So now we will be navigated to home directory. So if you type PWD here, then we will get root home. And home will be stored in which directory? Home will be stored in root directory. So if you press cd space dot dot, its home parent directory is root directory. So we will get root now. So PWD. So the slash is nothing but root directory. Root is the parent directory in which all the directories will get stored. So if we use cd space dot dot, so then also we will be navigated to that root only, because root is the parent directory. Before root we don't have any other directory. So this is the advantage of the slash symbol. This is the advantage of cd space dot dot symbol. Okay. Now let us see the present working directory. What is the present working directory? Slash is the present working directory. Here the next option is cd space tilde symbol. If we use a tilde symbol, then we can change to user home directory. So if you type PWD now, if you observe here, then we got the output from root to user home directory. Sudhakar Atchala is nothing but user home directory. Let us assume that we have navigated to our previous one, that is cd space PWD1, this one. So now we are at directory 5. So if you type cd space tilde symbol, so whenever we use a cd space tilde symbol, then we will be navigated to user home directory. So from any directory, we can go to the user home directory. So previously from the root directory, we moved to the user home directory with the help of cd space tilde. Now from directory 5, we are navigated to user home directory. Okay, cd space tilde symbol. If you type PWD, then we will be at what? User home directory. So that is the advantage of cd space tilde symbol. Let us assume that now we have navigated up to directory 3. So what is our present working directory? Our present working directory is directory 3. Here we have another option called cd. After cd, if we don't use any argument, then also it will be navigated to user home directory. So what is user home directory? From root to Sudhakar Atchala. This is nothing but user home directory. So if you type cd here, then if we execute PWD, then what is the directory here? What is the present working directory? From root to Sudhakar Atchala. So we can say that cd space tilde symbol and cd without arguments, both these are same only. So by using both these, we can move to the user home directory. And the last option is cd space hyphen. If we use cd space hyphen, then we will be navigated to previous working directory. Here we are at home directory. What is the previous working directory? Directory 3 is the previous working directory. So we will be navigated to that directory 3. So that is the advantage here. If you use cd space hyphen, if you observe here, so we are navigated to directory 3. So if we execute PWD, then we will get output from root to directory 3. If we execute cd space hyphen one more time, then what will happen? We will be navigated to its previous working directory. So before directory 3, what is our previous working directory? Home directory. So what is the home directory? From root to Sudhakar Atchala. So we will get that as the output. If we execute pwd, then we will get the output from root to Sudhakar Atchala. So this is about cd command. So totally we have 6 options are there. The first option is cd space dot means we will be navigated to our current working directory only. It is useless command. Cd space double dot means we will be navigated to its parent directory. If we are at directory 3, then we will be navigated to its parent directory such as directory 2. If we use cd space tilde symbol, then we will be navigated to user home directory. If we use cd without any argument, then also we will be navigated to user home directory. And if we use cd space single hyphen symbol, then what will happen? We will be navigated to its previous working directory. So these are the various advantages of cd command. In this video, we are going to discuss about ls command. ls stands for listing. Let us see the advantage of ls command. It is used to list all the files and directories present in the given directory in alphabetical order. So by using ls command, we can display all the files and subdirectories which are present in the given directory in alphabetical order. Alphabetical order means first the files starting with numbers will get printed. Next, the files starting with the file names starting with uppercase letters will get printed. Next, the file names starting with lowercase letters will get printed. Let us see the syntax here. ls space directory. So here the name of the directory is directory 1. If we specify a directory name, then ls command will list all the files and subdirectories which are present in the directory 1. Let name of the directory is directory 10. Then if we uses ls space directory 10, then it will displace all the files and subdirectories which are present in directory 10. Let us see the second syntax. Suppose if we don't specify any directory name, here we don't have any directory name, ls. If we don't specify any directory name, then it will list all the files and subdirectories present in the current working directory. Suppose if the directory name is omitted, then all the files and subdirectories which are present in current working directory will get printed. So let us see practically now. ls, here we have these files are there. So first the files starting with numbers got printed. Here we have 2 files starting with numbers. So first those are printed. Next the files starting with uppercase alphabets will be printed. So first in file 1 f is uppercase letter. In file 2 f is uppercase letter. So that's why these 2 files are printed. Next here for directory, next the files starting with lowercase alphabets will get printed. The file starting with lowercase alphabets. Here we have small d, in directory 1, directory 2, small d is the lowercase alphabet. In file, here d, f, h, all are lowercase letters only in alphabetical order. So first we got directory 1, next directory 2, next file 2, next file. So likewise we got the output. Now let us see the options. Here there are several options are there. Let us see all the options one by one. The first major important option is ls-l. L stands for long listing. L stands for long listing. So it will display all the files and directories in long listing form. So let us display that. So ls space hyphen l. Then if we observe here, so in long listing form, we will get the output. So this is one column, this is the second column, third column, fourth column, fifth column. So likewise we have 6 columns are there. Let us see all the columns one by one. Here the first column, this hyphen specifies type of the file. For ordinary file, the type is hyphen, whereas for the directory, the type is D. If you observe here, for the directory, the type of the file is D. Next, the next 9 are file permissions. These 9 are called as file permissions. We will have 9 permissions are there. R stands for read, W stands for write, X stands for execute. The first 3 permissions are belonging to the owner. The next 3 permissions are belonging to the group. The next 3 permissions are belonging to the execute permission. So totally we will have 9 permissions are there. This one specifies number of links. So for the corresponding file, for the file 2, we will have only one link is there. If you want, we can create a number of links with the help of ln command. Next, the next column specifies owner or user. So owner or user of my account is Sudhakar Atchala. Next column specifies group. So group name is Sudhakar Atchala. Let us assume that we are working in a college lab. In a lab we have 90 systems are there. Then what we can do is the corresponding 90 systems are divided into 3 groups where each group contains 30 systems. We can do like that. And the next column specifies what is the creation or when that file was created, creation time, file creation time or last modified time. So file creation time or last modified time, and the last column specifies name of the file. So this is about L option. Now let us see the next option. The next option is hyphen R, small r. If you use a small r, then what will happen is R stands for reverse. It will displace all the files and directories in reverse order of the alphabetical order. So generally what will happen, first the file starting with numbers will get printed. Next uppercase files will get printed. Lowercase file names files will get printed. Whereas in reverse order it will get printed. So first lowercase files will get printed. Next uppercase files. Next numbers files will get printed. Let us see that. So ls hyphen r. ls hyphen r. So if you observe here, so first we got the files starting with lowercase letters. Next we got the files starting with uppercase letters. Next we got the files starting with numbers. So this is the advantage here. This is the advantage here. Now let us see the next option. The next option is minus T. Here T stands for time. So it will displace all the files and directories based upon the file creation time or last modified time. Based on the file creation time or last modified time. So new files will get printed first, whereas old files will get printed last. So let us see the output here. So ls minus t. So here time won't get printed. If we want the time, then we have to use the long listing form. If you observe here, the first file, that is directory 1, is created on June 7th, 14:45 time. Next file is created on June 7, 9:27. Next file created on June 6. So newer files will be created first, whereas older files will be created last. So this is the advantage here. Older files will be displayed last. Next one is hyphen LTR. So if we can use the combinations here. L stands for long listing form. Time stands for based upon the time. R stands for reverse. R stands for reverse. If we combine the previous 3 options, hyphen LTR, then what will happen is oldest files or directories will be displayed at the top. Why? Because R stands for reverse order. In the reverse order of the time creation, we will get the output. Whereas the most recently files should be displayed at the bottom. So let us see that. So ls hyphen LTR. If you observe here, so this is the old file. So this is the old file. So directory 2 is created on May 31st. So next on June 6, 1256, 123 is created. So here what is happening? Oldest files will be displayed first, whereas newer files will be displayed last. This is the advantage of hyphen LTR command. So next one, hyphen small a. Here A stands for all the files. A stands for all the files. It will display all the files including the hidden file. So what is hidden file? Every hidden file begins with dot symbol. Every hidden file begins with dot symbol. Dot bash underscore history. So this dot, here we have a dot. So this is a hidden file. This is hidden file. this is hidden file, this is hidden file. If a file is beginning with dot symbol, this is called as hidden file. So if we use minus a option, then what will happen? It will displace all the files including the hidden files. Here we will have two more files called dot. Already we have seen about dot in cd command. So dot means cd space dot means we will be at current working directory only, whereas cd space dot dot means we will be navigated to its parent directory. Its parent directory. So ls hyphen a means it will displace all the files including the hidden files. It will displace all the files including the hidden files. So in order to count how many files are there, we can use a command like this. ls space hyphen a means we will get all the files. Totally how many files are there? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 into 2 means 16. 16 plus 1 means 17. So ls minus a means we will get these 17 files. Here this is called as pipe symbol. What is the advantage of the pipe symbol? For the pipe, the left hand side means input, right hand side means output. So pipe symbol will take the input from the left side and it will provide it as input to its right hand side command. So what is the pipe symbol left hand side? 17 files. So those will be given as input to its right hand side command, wc minus l. So now it will count the number of lines. So how many lines are there? 17. So we will get that output. And the next command is ls hyphen capital A. So if we use, what is capital A? Capital A stands for almost all. It will displace all the files including the hidden files except dot and dot dot. So this is the major difference between hyphen A, hyphen small a and hyphen capital A. So small a means dot 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 will also get printed, whereas capital A means dot 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 won't get printed. Let us see here. So ls space hyphen capital A. So if you observe here, we don't have dot and dot dot. We don't have dot and dot dot. So let us count here. Let us count the number of lines here. Previously we got 17 lines. So now dot dot dot. So we have to subtract 2. So 17 minus 2 means 15. So we will get 15 as the output. Now let us see the next command, next option. ls space hyphen f hyphen capital F. If we use as capital F, then what will happen is it will displace based upon the file type. If there is a directory, then it ends with / symbol. If there is an executable file, it ends with asterisk symbol. If it is a link file, then it ends with symbol. It ends with symbol. So let us work this command now. So ls space capital F. So here we have only a directory. So that's why here the directories are ending with /. Let us move to the home directory. So cd space tilde symbol. Let us work that option one more time here. So ls hyphen f. So here also we have same options. Now we are at the root directory. So now let us work with that command. ls space hyphen f. If you see here, so here this file is ending with @. If the file ends with @, then it is called as link file. Here if you observe here, etc is a directory, home is a directory. So that's why they are ending with /. Init is ending with star. So this is an executable file. So if you want to display the files based upon the type, then we use this symbol. Okay. So this is the advantage of hyphen capital F. Now we are at which directory? We are at home directory. Now let us move to our account. So now we are at our user account. So with this ls hyphen capital A. So 7 options are over. Now let us see the next option. The next option is ls hyphen small f. If we use a small f option, then what will happen is it lists out all the files including the hidden files by disabling the colors. Actually by default the directories will be displayed in blue color. If we use a hyphen small f option, then all them will be displayed in white color only. The colors will be disabled. So that is the advantage here. So previously if you see the output, directories got displayed in which color? Blue color. If you use a ls space hyphen, then it is displaying all the files including the hidden files, but everything will be displayed in white color only. So that means all the colors will be disabled. If you see here, directory 1, directory 2, they also got printed in white color only. So it disables the colors. Now let us see the next option. The next option is hyphen small I. So what is the advantage of I? If we want to display the files with inode, then we use hyphen I option, small I option. What is I? I stands for index node. So what is the advantage of the index node? Generally, every file will have some attributes, such as a file, we have a file name, it has some size, it has number of links, and the file creation time, and the last modified time. So likewise, every file will contain some attributes. All the attributes are stored in an address called inode. So all the file attributes will be stored in an address called inode. So if you want to display the file with the inode address, we have to use ls hyphen I option. So here this is nothing but 123 file. So 123 inode address is this address. So here this is nothing but directory 2. So directory 2 inode address is this address. So this is the advantage of hyphen small I option. Next one is hyphen capital R. Already we have seen about small r option. If you use a smaller option, then in the reverse order of the alphabetical order, all the files will get printed. Whereas if you use capital R, then it recursively lists all the files and subdirectories. So we know what is recursive order. Recursive order. So ls space hyphen R. So if you observe here, so we got the output like this. Okay. So initially we got all the files and directories. In directory 1, we have directory 2. In directory 2, we have directory 3. In directory 3, we have directory 4. In directory 4, we have directory 5. So likewise, we can display all them in recursive order. Recursive order means subdirectories. Again, that subdirectory contains some directory. All that will be printed. So this is the advantage of capital R option. Now let us see capital S. Capital S means it displays all the files by sorting the size. By sorting the size. If you see here, ls hyphen s, ls, it is better to use L option so that we will get the size also. So if you observe here, so first the directory size is 4096. So it is having highest size. So first it is printed. So directory 2 size is also 4096. So next it got printed. So by default for a directory, what will happen is 4 KB of data will get allocated. So 4 blocks of memory will get allocated, where one block is equal to 1024. Where one block is equal to 1024 bytes. So we can totally store 4096 bytes or 4096 characters in the directories. Here we have created high file. So the size of the high file is 380 characters or 380 bytes. The size of the file is 28 characters or 28 bytes. Okay, 28 bytes. Okay, so if you want to display all the files in sorted order, in descending order, then we can use the capital S option. Now let us see the next one, hyphen H. If we use hyphen H, what will happen is in human readable form we will get the output. Here what is 4096? 4096 is nothing but 4 blocks. So we will get that output, ls minus hl. So if you observe here, so 4096 means 4 kilobytes. So 1 kilobyte means 1024 bytes. So 4 into 1024 means 4096. So in human readable form, we will get the output. Here human readable form means this one, 4 kilobyte. This is nothing but human readable form. Let us see the next option. The next option is hyphen D. D stands for directories. If you want to display only directory attributes, then we can use this option, ls space hyphen D. For long listing, use LD. So all the directories information will get printed here. So the type of the file is D. The next 9 are permissions. Next one is link. Only one link is there. Owner Sudhakar Atchala, group Sudhakar Atchala. Next one size 4096 and creation time. This dot specifies that we are at current directory. So this is about ls command and the various options which we can use in the ls command. In this video, we are going to discuss about head and tail commands. First, let's see the advantage of the head command. By using head command, we can display specified number of lines from top of the file. So here head means top. So if we want to display a specified number of lines from top of the file, we use head command. Now let's see the next point. When head command is used without any option, that means if you don't specify number of lines, then it displays the top 10 lines of the file. So let's take an example here. Head space file. Here the head command is used without any option, without any line number. Then the top 10 lines are going to be displayed. Let us see the execution. So cat, here we have a file called file. Let's take file 1. Let's take hi. So here we have a file called hi. Hi contains 120 lines. 120 lines. So from 1 to 122. Okay, from 1 to 122. So if we type head space file, head space file name, then the first 10 lines are going to be displayed. The first 10 lines are going to be displayed. Why? Because here we didn't use any line number. If we didn't use any line number, then by default 10 lines are going to be displayed. Let us see the next example. Head space -15 space file. So if we specify any line number, then the first those lines will get printed. Okay, let us see an example for that. So before that, let us clear the screen. So head space -15 space, let name of the file is hi. So here the option is -15. So the top 15 lines are going to be displayed. So if you observe the output here, the top 15 lines are displayed. Now let us see another example. So head space -n, -n. Here n stands for number of lines. N stands for number of lines. Here if we use 15, then what will happen is the first 15 lines are going to be displayed. So instead of -15, we can write as -n space number of lines also. So this is another way of displaying. So let head space -n space, let we have 20 hi. So now what will happen is the first 20 lines are going to be displayed. Here the first 20 lines are going to be displayed. So here in order to perform the displaying, we can use -15 number of lines that we want to display, or -n space number of lines that we want to display. So this is another syntax. Now let's see the another example. Head space -n space -15. So instead of +15, if we use -15, then what will happen is all the lines of the file from top to bottom except the last 15 are going to be printed. Let us see the execution. Here the file contains 122 lines. Okay, so head space -n space -3 space hi. Then what will happen is all the lines of the file are going to be displayed except the last 2 lines. Here except the last 3 lines. Here the last 3 lines are 120, 121, 122. So these 2 lines are not going to be printed. So we will get the output from 1 to 119. 1 to 119. The last 3 lines won't get displayed. So we got the output from 1 to 119. 1 to 119. So this is the advantage of the head command. If you don't use any option here, then the first 10 lines are going to be displayed. Suppose if you want to display 15 lines, then we can use -15, or we can use -n space 15. So likewise we can display 5 lines, 7 lines, 3 lines. It is our choice. We can display as many lines as we want. So head space -3 space hi. Then the first 3 lines are going to be printed. Okay. Next one is if we use -15, then what will happen? All the lines except the last 15 lines will get printed. Instead of n, we can use C also. If we use C, then what will happen is, here C stands for characters, N stands for number of lines, C stands for characters. So the first 20 characters are going to be printed. So let us create a file for that. So cat space, let name of the file is hello. Let name of the file is hello. So let us print some data. Ramesh Babu. Hello. Hello. Let we have here control D. Let us apply head command now. So head space hyphen C space. C stands for characters. So 5 space. What is the name here? Hello. Hello. So then what will happen is, what will happen now? The first here instead of 20 we use just 5. So the first 5 characters are going to be printed. So REMES. REMES. So we will get the first 5 characters. REMES. So this is about the advantage of the head command. Now let us see about the advantage of the tail command. Tail is entirely opposite to the head command. If we use head, then we will get the output from top of the file. Whereas if we use the tail, then we will get the output from end of the file. Let us see the advantage of the tail command. Tail command is used to display specified number of lines from end of the file. So from bottom of the file, we will get the output. When tail command is used without any option, if we use tail command without any line number, then it will display the last 10 lines of the file. So let us execute that. So let us clear the screen first. So tail space name of the file. Let name of the file is hi. Then the last 10 lines are going to be printed. So here these are the last 10 lines. If you don't use any option, then the last 10 lines are going to be printed. Let us see the second advantage. Tail space hyphen 15 file name. Then what will happen is, the last 15 lines are going to be printed. So instead of 15, just we use 5 space high. Then what will happen is, the last 5 lines are going to be printed. So here we got the last 5 lines. So instead of that, we can print like this also. We can print like this also. Tail space hyphen N space 15, where N stands for number of lines. Where N stands for number of lines. So let us see an example. So tail space hyphen N space 5 space high. So then what will happen? The last 5 lines are going to be printed. The last 5 lines are going to be printed. And the next one is, so tail space hyphen N space. If we use plus 15, if we use line number without hyphen symbol, then what will happen is, we will get the output just like the previous one only. That means the last 15 lines are going to be printed. Whereas in head command, here we have hyphen, here we have hyphen symbol. Here we have hyphen symbol. Whereas in head command, what will happen is, all the lines of the file except 15 are going to be printed. Except the last 15 are going to be printed. Whereas in tail command, what will happen is, hyphen 15 will work similar to without hyphen only. Okay, without hyphen only. So if we execute this one, so tail space hyphen N space hyphen 5 space I. So then also what will happen is, the last 5 lines are going to be printed. Here these 3 are same only. So tail space hyphen 5 space I means last 5 lines only. Hyphen N 5 space I means the last 5 lines only. Hyphen N hyphen 5 means the last 5 lines only. Whereas here in place of tail, if we use head, then all the lines of the file will get printed except the last 5 lines. Now here also we can use hyphen C option. Let us apply hyphen C option on hello file. Here we have hello file. So let us apply on hello file. So tail space minus hyphen C space 1 2 3 4 5. So let the number of characters are some 5. Name of the file is hello. If we observe here we got only 4 characters. Why? Because here the last character is new line character. So after this we press enter key and then we press Control D. Control D specifies that file creation will get over. So here this last line, this is nothing but new line character. So this is 1 character, next 2 3 4 5. So we will get the last 5 characters. If we use just a tail space -c space 5. Let us assume that our target is like this. We want to display line numbers from 10 to 15. Instead of displaying the files from top position, bottom position, I want to display from line numbers from 10 to 15. Then the syntax is like this. So head space -15 space 5. If we use head space -15, then the top 15 lines are going to be printed. Next we have pipe symbol. Pipe symbol will supply those 15 lines to the tail command. Here for the tail command, there is no need to provide any file name. Now tail command has those 15 lines. So this symbol is called as pipe symbol. Pipe symbol will take the output and it will supply inputs to the tail command. So out of 15, we want to display from 10 to 15. So 10 to 15 means last 6 lines. So here we have written tail -16. So let us see an example for that. So head -15 space high. So we will get the last 15. We will get top 15 lines. Let us assume that we want to display the last 3 lines. If we want to display last 3 lines, then tail space -3 will be sufficient. So head to -15 space high means the first 15 lines are going to be printed. This pipe symbol supplies those 15 lines as input to the tail command. Now tail -3 means the last 3 lines are going to be printed. So we got the last 3 lines. So likewise, we can display any number of lines as we want. We can display from 20 to 30. We can display from 30 to 35. It is our choice. So this is about head command and tail command in Unix or Linux. In this video, we are going to discuss about echo command in Unix or Linux. First, let us see the advantage of echo command. Echo command is useful in order to display a line of text or string that is passed as an argument. Let's see the syntax here. Echo space, option space. Here by using echo command, we can display a line of text or string. We know that string means a collection of characters. Those characters are to be enclosed in double quotations. So the data which we want to display must be enclosed within the double quotations. This is the advantage of echo command. So let's see here. So echo welcome to shell scripting. So I want to print a line like this. So within the double quotations, we have to enclose the text. Okay. Now we got the output like this. Welcome to shell scripting. So that is the advantage of echo command. Now let us see the options here. Mainly we have 3 options are there. -e, -E, -n. Okay. Let us see all the options one by one. So first one is -e. E stands for escape sequences. If you want to enable any escape sequences, any / sequences, then we have to use -e option. We have several escape sequences are there. Let us see all the escape sequences one by one. So if you want to use any escape sequence character, then we must use -e option. First, let us see about /b. B stands for backspace character. So whenever we use backspace character, then it removes the spaces between the text. It is useful in order to remove the spaces between the text. Let's see an example here. If we want to enable / sequence, if we want to use any escape sequence, then we have to use -e. So welcome. Next use /b. So welcome to. So /b some programming. Now what will happen is this /b removes the space between welcome and b. So welcome and to will be printed continuously. That space won't get printed. So likewise here we have /b. So /b removes blank space. So to and shell will be printed continuously. Next /b eliminates the space between shell and programming. So shell and programming will be printed continuously. So if you observe the output here, then we got output like this. welcome to shell programming. All the spaces are removed. Suppose if there is more than one space, then what will happen is only one space will get eliminated. Only one space will get eliminated. It doesn't remove all the spaces. So if you observe here, only one space got removed here. Only one space got removed here. Only one space got removed here. So that's why in the first example, we use only one space between these four words. Okay. This is the advantage of /b option. Now let us see about /c option. So what is the meaning of C here? If you use a C, then it produces no further output. That means after the welcome, if we use /c, then the remaining data won't get printed. The remaining data won't get printed. That is, all the trailing characters won't get printed. Let us see an example for that. So here we have, here let us assume that we use /c here. So welcome /c here. Okay. So let we have several characters like that. Then what will happen is, whenever this /c character is executed, then it produces no further output. So all the characters from this character to this character, so all these will be eliminated. So they won't get printed. And command prompt, we have Sudhakar Atchala. Yeah, this command prompt will be printed immediately after the welcome. After the welcome. So this is the advantage of /c. So let us see here. If we observe here, after welcome we have /c. So that's why from /c we don't got any output here. So from /c to G we don't got any output here. And the Sudhakar Atchala, that was printed after the E only. That was printed after E only. So that means all the trailing characters won't get printed. Okay. After /c, so many characters are there, they won't get printed. Okay. This is the advantage of /c. Now let us see about /n. We know about /n. /n stands for new line character. So let's see about that. So welcome. Here we have /n character. Let us eliminate /p. Next, let us have some /n character here. So then what will happen is, first we will get welcome, next /n, so that the cursor will place us in the next line. So in the second line we will get 2. Next after that here we have /n, so that the cursor will place in the next line. So in the third line we have shell programming. Shell programming. If we observe here, first line contains welcome. Next after /n we have some blank spaces there. So that's why before 2 also we got some blank spaces. And after that here we have /n. After /n, in between /n and this, yes, we don't have any spaces. So that's why shell programming is printed in the next line. So that is the advantage of /n. Now let us see about /t. T stands for tab. Tab means horizontal tab. 4 to 5 spaces will get printed. Okay. Now let us see about that. So welcome. So here we have /t. So welcome to. Let us use some /t here. Shell scripting. So what will happen now? So first welcome will get printed. After that we have /t. So 4 to 5 spaces will get printed. After that 2 will get printed. Next here we have some spaces. Those spaces will get printed, as well as we have /t. So for confusion, just what I am doing is I am eliminating all those spaces. So welcome to shell scripting. So let us eliminate these spaces. So let us see here. So first we got welcome. Next here we have /t is there. So that's why we got it is better to use /t here. Yeah. So first we got welcome as the output. Next to /t. So 4 5 spaces printed. Next we got 2 as the output. Next some spaces are there here. Next to /t. So 4 to 5 spaces got printed. Next to shell scripting got printed. So if we use /t between shell and scripting, then what will happen? In between shell and scripting also 4 to 5 spaces will get printed. So that is the advantage of /t. Now let us see about the next option, that is /v. /v stands for vertical tab. What is the use of vertical tab? It places the cursor in the same position of the next line. It places the cursor in the same position of the next line. Let us see an example for that. Here we have AB. So first AB will get printed. Next the cursor is here. Next the cursor is at the next character after the B. Okay. So let we execute it /v. So the cursor will place us in the same position of the next line. So what is the same position of the next line? This position. So after CV, after /v, here we have CD. So CD got printed. So now we have cursor here. And after that we have /v. So cursor will place us in same position of the next line. So let the cursor is here. So EV got printed. So this is the advantage of /v. But here my Ubuntu is not supporting the /v option. So let us execute this. So if you want to enable any escape sequence, then we must use -e option. So AB/v, CD/v, EF. Okay, but /v is not working in my Ubuntu. Okay, AB. Here we got question mark. Okay, so it is not working. But that is the purpose of /v. Now let us see about /r. /r stands for carries return. It moves cursor to the starting position of the same line. So whenever we use a /r, it moves cursor to the starting position of the same line. So let us see here, echo -e, starting position of the same line. So let the content is like this. Okay, so Ramesh. Next let assume that we have Babu. So Ramesh Babu. Next let we have slash what is the symbol? /r. So /r stands for carries return. Next we have SO. Now let's see what is the output now. What is the output now? So here before this we have some spaces there. So let us eliminate that. Yeah. So now let us execute this one. So first we got Ramesh Babu. So Ramesh Babu got printed initially. Then after that we have /r is there. So whenever /r is executed, then the cursor will place us in the starting position of the same line. After /r here we have SO. So SO got printed in the first two characters. Okay. Next the remaining output is same only. Suppose if you place any characters here, let us assume that I placed OO like that. So then after that we will get OOs like this. Okay. So OO, likewise we got the output. So that is the advantage of -e, and these are the commonly used escape sequences. Now let us see about next one. Next option, that is -E. So capital E disables interpretation of escape sequences. If you don't want to use any escape sequences, then we use -E. So capital E means it disables the escape sequence. So let us assume that here in place of small e, we use capital E. Then what will happen is escape sequences won't get applied on the text. So we will get the output as it is. Okay. So here we got the output as it is. Ramesh Babu /r. So that is the advantage of capital E. So let us work with another example. You go capital E. So capital E stands for disabling of escape sequences. So /t won't get applied on this test. So we will get the output as it is. So if you observe here, we got the output as it is. And if you don't use any option, then also the default option is -E. The default option is -E. So that means no escape sequence will applied on the test. We will get the output as it is. So what is the default option? -E is the default option. -E is the default option. So it won't apply any formatting. We will get the output as it is. So here we got the output as it is. Now let us see the last option. The last option is -n. If we use -n, then what will happen is it removes the trailing new lines. So after the text, that new line will get removed and our command prompt will be printed after the test only. So if you observe here, echo space -n welcome. Then what will happen is the command prompt will get printed after our text only. Yeah, if we observe here, our command prompt got printed after the text only. So this is the advantage of the -n. It removes trailing lines. So it removes trailing new lines. Okay. So after this we have used it like this. -n welcome to. Then what will happen is let here we have some slash t. Let here we have slash t. So first we will get welcome, next we will get tab space, next we will get 2, and after that, that command prompt will be printed after 2 only. That command prompt will be printed after 2 only. So that is the advantage of slash t. So t stands here. If you want to apply the formatting here, here let us use one space here, because after t we got another t immediately. So that is confusion. So here if you use hyphen also, hyphen n also, no formatting will get printed. Okay, no formatting will be applied. Okay, so here let we have a test like this. If you use hyphen n also, no formatting will get applied. Okay, no formatting will get applied. Echo hyphen n welcome. So if you use hyphen n option, then that command prompt will be printed after the immediate test. So it removes the trailing new lines. Okay. Now let us see about echo star advantage. Here after the echo command we use a star. If we use a star, it simply work like ls command. It will displace all the files and directories present in the current working directory. So ls means it is showing all the files. If we use echo star also, then all the files and directories will get printed just like ls. So this is about echo command. In this video, we are going to discuss about cal command and date command. First let's see about cal command. Cal stands for calendar. Cal command is mainly useful in order to display the calendar. Let us see the most commonly used options of cal command. If we use cal, then it displays the current month calendar. So let us see practically. So cal will displace current month calendar. So now we are in June 2021. So the current month calendar, that is June calendar, got displayed whenever we use cal command. The next advantage of the cal command is cal space month space year. So if we want to display the calendar for a specified month and year, then we use this option. So let us see an example for that. So cal space, let the month is 8 August, let the year is 2000. Then August month calendar in 2000 will get displayed. So August 2000 calendar got displayed. Let us see the next advantage of the cal command. If you display only year, then the whole year calendar will get displayed from Jan to December. From Jan to December. So let's take an example for that. So cal space, let the year is 2000. Then 2000 year calendar will get displayed from Jan to December. So from Jan to December. So December, November, October, July, August, September. So before that we have Jan, February, March. Jan, February, March. Next we have April, May, June. So likewise the entire 2000 year calendar got displayed. So this is the advantage of cal command. Now let us see another option. Cal space hyphen y. Here y stands for year. So by using this option, we can display the current year calendar. Now we are in 2021. So the entire 2021 calendar will get displayed from Jan to December. So let us see whether this option is working properly or not. So cal space hyphen y means current year calendar will get printed. Okay. So December, November, October, July, August, September. So before that this is nothing but what? 2021 year. So Jan, February, March, April, May, June. Okay. So likewise, if you want to display the current year calendar, we can use cal space hyphen I or cal space that year number. So if we use 2021 also, then 2021 calendar will get printed from Jan to December. Let us see one more advantage. Cal space hyphen 3. If you use hyphen 3, then it displays the calendar of the previous month, current month, next month. Now the current month is June. So June before month is May, June after month is June, next month is July. So cal space hyphen 3 means it will displace May, June and July month calendar. So the current month is what? June. So its previous month is May. Its next month is July. Okay. So that is the advantage of cal command. Now let us see about date command. If we use date command without any option, without any argument, then it displays the system current date and time. So it will display time also. So date, so Tuesday, June 22. Now the time is 1:10. So 13 hours. So 1 hour, 10 minutes, 22 seconds. IST stands for Indian Standard Time and the year is 2021. Here we have various format specifiers are there. Within the double quotations, we have to specify format specifier. But any format specifier must be enclosed in double quotation. It starts with plus and after that we have to use percentage, plus percentage. If we use capital Y, it displays the whole year. Here the year is 2021. So it will display 2021. Whereas in place of capital Y, if we use small y, then it will display the last two digits of the year. So in 2021, the last two digits are 21. So 21 will get printed. So date, let us clear the screen before executing the command. So date within the double quotations plus modulo capital Y means it will display the whole year 2021. Whereas if we use small y, then it will display the last two digits of the year. So that is nothing but 21. Now let us see the next options. If we use a small m, it will display month number. Current month is June. So June number is 6. Whereas if we use H, then month name will get printed. Month name, JUN. So JUN will get printed. So let us work with those options. If we use M, now, then month number will get printed. Current month, June month number is 6. So 6 will get printed as the output. Whereas if we use H, then month name will get printed. Month name will get printed. So JUN will get printed. Okay. And if we want to display day, then we use D option. If we want to display hours, H. If we want to display minutes, here capital M means minutes, small m means month. If you want to display seconds, yes. So let us work with those four options now. So if we use day, the date will get printed. Today date is 22. So 22 will get printed. If we use hours, then that hours will get printed. 13 hours. Okay. And next minutes means M, capital M. It will display minutes. 12 minutes. Okay. Next capital S means it will display seconds. So these are the most commonly used options in cal command and date command. In this video, we are going to discuss about chmod command, chmod. Chmod stands for change mode command. It is mainly useful in order to change the permissions of a file. So here let us see the syntax of the ch command. Chmod space u plus x space file. Here what is u? U means category. So plus means operation. X means permission. So the syntax for the chmod command is chmod space category operation permission space name of the file. First let us see about the category of users. Mainly we will have three categories are there. The first category is U. U stands for user or owner. Next category is G. G stands for group. Next category is WO. WO stands for others. Here WO means others. WO means not owner. WO means not owner. So U stands for user or owner. G stands for group. WO stands for others. A stands for all. So that means users or groups and others. Okay. Next, these are the various categories that we have. Now let us see about operations. Mainly we have three operations are there. First one is plus. Second operator is minus. Third one is equal to. Here plus means assigning or adding permissions. Minus means removing the permissions. whereas is equal to means assigning absolute permission. We will discuss about is equal to in absolute notation. So plus means adding the permission, minus means removing the permission, whereas is equal to means assigning absolute permissions. Now let us see about permissions. Mainly we have three types of permissions are there: read permission, write permission, execute permission. Okay. In order to know the permissions, let us work with ls-l. So ls lists all the files and directories, whereas L stands for -L. It will display the output in long listing form. If we observe here, this hyphen specifies it is an ordinary file. Next here we have 9 permissions are there. Next here totally 9 permissions are there. The first 3 permissions are user permissions. So by default for a file, user has only read and write permission. User doesn't have execute permission. Next, the next 3 permissions are group permissions. So by default, if we create any file, then group will have only read permission, and owners and others and only here group will have only read permission. Group doesn't have write permission, execute permission. If we consider the last 3 are others permissions. So by default others have only read permission. So now let us observe the material. So if we permissions, if we click ls-l, any file. So if we create any file, then this hyphen specifies that it is a normal file or ordinary file, and the next 3 are user permissions, the next 3 are group permissions, and the last 3 are others permissions. So what are the default permissions for owner? The default permissions for the owner are read and write. Next, what are the default permissions for group and others? The default permissions for group and others are only read. So if we observe here, so a file doesn't have execute permission by default, not even for the owner. So even owner doesn't have execute permission after we have created a file. So if we want to provide any permission, then we have to use chmod command. Using chmod command, we can assign execute permission to the owner. Okay. Here, in order to change the permissions, we use 3 types of notations. The first notation is symbolic notation or text notation or relative notation. The second notation is called as absolute notation. The third notation is called as octal notation. So by using these 3 notations, we can provide permissions to the file. Okay. So now let us see the first notation. The first notation is symbolic or relative notation. So symbolic or text notation or relative notation. So why it is called as symbolic notation means here we uses symbols. Here we uses symbols such as for user we uses U, for group we uses G, for others we uses O, some symbols, some text. So that's why this is called as symbolic notation. Why this is called as relative notation? Let us see this point. It changes the current permissions. It changes current permissions, but other permissions remains unchanged. That means previously that file contains some permissions. Those permissions won't changes. So that's why this is called as relative notation. So let us see the theory so that you will get the perfect clarity. So totally here we have 6 examples are there. Let us see the first example here. If we want to assign execute permission to the user, here what is the syntax of the chmod command? Chmod space we want to provide execute permission to the user. So for user means U. Here we want to add the permission. So plus stands for assignment, adding. X means we are adding execute permissions. So name of the file is file1. So let us work practically now. So chmod. So let us take any file, ls-l-. Let name of the file is file9. So if you observe here, owner doesn't have execute permission, but here we want to provide execute permission to the user. So u plus x space, let name of the file is file9. So if we execute here, file9 permissions. So now owner has execute permission. Previously owner doesn't have execute permission. Now owner has execute permission. So that's why this is called as relative notations. Here previously owner has read write permission, group has read permission, others has read permission. But here those permissions are not changing. The previous permissions remains unchanged. So that's why this is called as relative notation. Okay, relative notation. Let's take another example. To remove execute permission from the user. I want to remove execute permission from the user. So previously user has execute permission. So let's see how we can remove that. So in place of plus we have to use minus. So if we use minus, minus stands for remove, X stands for execute. So execute permission will be removed from the user. So if we observe ls here, previously owner has execute permission. Now that execute permission got removed. Now let's take another example. Let's see the another example. To assign execute permission to all. I want to assign execute permission to all the people. Okay. If we observe here, owner doesn't have execute permission. Next group doesn't have execute permission. Other doesn't have execute permission. If we want to provide execute permission for everyone, we can use usevo plus execute permission X file line. So for user, for group and for others, execute permission will be assigned. If we observe here, owner has execute permission, group has execute permission, others has execute permission. If we want in place of usevo, we can use A also. A stands for all. So for everyone, execute permission will be assigned. Now let's see another example. To add execute permission to the owner, write permission to the group and others. So if we want to add execute permission to the owner, then this is the syntax. So chmod space u plus x comma. We want to add write permission to group and others. Write permission to group and others. So G plus W means write permission will be added to the group. So O plus W means write permission will be added to the owner. If we observe group and others, we are adding same permission to two different categories. So we can combine those two categories. So GO will become what? Group and others. So for group and others, we are adding what? Write permission. So we can use this statement or this statement. It is our choice. Why? Because same permission is enabled for different categories. Okay. Let's take another example. To remove read permission from others and group. If we want to remove read permission from group and others. So group means Z, O means others. So what we are doing? We are removing the read permission. So hyphen R means read permission will get removed from group and others for the file name file1. Here also after this we have to use a file name. After this we have to use a file name. Okay. If we want to remove all the permissions from the file, then this is the statement. chmod a minus rwx. A stands for everyone, users, groups and others. Minus stands for remove. Rwx means all the permissions will get removed. So this is about relative notation. Relative notation. If we uses this notation, then the previous permissions won't changes. Now let us see about absolute notation. Absolute notation. Here absolute assignment is done with is equal to operator. Already we have seen about operators. We have three operators are there. Plus stands for adding or assigning permission. Minus stands for removing the permission. Whereas is equal to stands for absolute assignment. So what is absolute assignment? It assigns only the specified permissions and remaining all other permissions will get removed. Previously that file has some permissions, then all those permissions will get removed. Okay, only this file contains the current permissions only. That is the difference between absolute notation and relative notation. Let's take an example for this. If we want to assign only write permission to all the three categories, we can write like this: A is equal to W, A is equal to W. So write permission will be assigned to all the people. So for user, for group, other. So in place of A, we can write this: UZO is equal to W, or we can write as is equal to W. Here the left hand side doesn't contain any variable. So that means for everyone, for users, for group and others, the write permission will be enabled. So let's take an example for this. So previously, what are the permissions of file line? So previously user has read, write, execute permission, group has read and execute permission, other has read and execute permission. Now what we are doing is chmod A is equal to write file name. Now what will happen is write permission will be given to everyone. For users, for group and others, write permission will be enabled. But it already has some permissions. Owner has read and execute permission. Those permissions will get removed. Group has read and execute permission. Those permissions will get removed. And others has read and execute permissions. Those permissions will get removed. If we execute now, if we observe here, so write permission is enabled for owner, group and others. So previously owner has read write, so those are enabled. Previously owner has read and execute. Previously owner has read and write, those are removed. Previously group has read and execute, those are removed. Others has read and execute, those are removed. So that is the difference between relative assignment and absolute assignment. Relative assignment means the previous permissions will be as it is only, remains unchanged. Whereas absolute permission means the previous permissions will be changes. Now let us see about the next notation. The next notation is octal notation. In octal notation, we uses some decimal numbers. Let us see about octal notation. Here we uses some numbers. Here 4 stands for read. Read. If we want to provide read permission, then we assign the number 4. If we want to provide write permission, then the number is 1. So if we want to provide execute permission, then the number is 6. Then the number is 1. Then the number is 1. So here octal means we uses octal numbers. Okay. So totally we uses 3 numbers. So read means 4. Write means 2. Execute means 1. So if we want to assign read and write permission, then we have to add 4 and 2. 4 plus 2 means 6. Suppose if we want to provide all the permissions, then we have to add 4 to 1. So 4 to 1 means 7. Suppose if we want to add only write permission, then we will give only 2. Suppose if we want to provide both write and execute permission, then we will add 2 plus 1. That is 3. So now let's take some examples so that you will get the perfect clarity. Here the first example is we want to assign read and execute permission to all the 3 categories. We want to assign read and execute permission to all the 3 categories. Here read means 4, execute means 5. So read means 4, execute means 5. So 4 plus 1 means 5. So for owner, for user, so read and execute permission will be given. So second 5 specifies for group, read and execute permission will be added. Others, for others, read and execute permission will be added. Next to file 9, okay. If you observe here, ls-l file 9, ls-l file 9. So if you observe here, previously owner has which permission? If you observe here, let us here what are the permissions here? So rx, okay. So for owner, read and execute permission is enabled. For group, next for group, read and execute permission is enabled. For others, read and execute permission is enabled. So this is the advantage here. Okay. Let us work with some other file, ls. So here we have hi and hello is also there. ls-l space hi. So here by default, owner has read and write permission, group has read permission, others has read permission. Here our target is we want to assign all permissions to owner. All permissions to owner. So that means owner will have read permission, write permission and execute permission. So that means 4 plus 2 plus 1, 7. Okay. So 7 means, so 4 plus 2 plus 1, read permission, write permission and execute permission will be enabled for the owner. And what next one is we want to provide write permission to read and write permission to both group and others. Read and write permission to both group and others. Here read means 4, write means 2. So 4 plus 2 means 6. If we add 6 here, then read and write permission will be given to group. Next, if we add 6 here, then read and write permission will be given to others also. Here what is the name of the file? Hi. If you observe here ls-l-i. So here all the permissions are there for the owner. Next, only read and write is for group and only read and write is for others. Okay. So likewise we can provide any permissions with the help of these 3 notations. So this is about chmod command. In this video we are going to discuss about more command and less command. If the file contains thousands and hundreds of lines, then it is not recommended to use the cat command for viewing the content of the file. We know that the major advantage of the cat command is we can view the contents of the file. But if the file contains hundreds and thousands of lines, then we use cat command. Then we will get only the last page. If we want to view the previous page's content, then we have to use the scroll bar. Let us see here an example for that. Already I created a file called file 9. So file 9 totally contains 200 lines. 200 lines. So only the last line got displayed. So if we want to view the previous page's information, then we have to use the scroll bar. Okay. If we use the scroll bar, now then only we can view the previous page's information. Okay. So that's why when the page contains, when the file contains hundreds and thousands of lines, then it is not recommended to use cat command. In that occasion, it is better to use head command and less command. Let us see about, more command and less command. Now let us see about the advantage of the more command. More command is useful in order to display the contents of the file page by page. So first we will get first page. Next, if we want, we can view the second page. Next, third page. So likewise, we can view the contents of the file page by page with the help of more command. If we want to view the next page content, then we can use either space bar or F, where F stands for forward. So if we want to move to the next page, then we have to click on either space bar key or F key. Next point, to view one page backward. Suppose if we want to view its previous page information, then we have to press on B key. Here B stands for backward key. Okay, backward. Okay. So if we want to view its previous page information, then we have to click on B. Next point, if we want to view the content line by line, then we have to use enter key. We have to use enter key. So let's see about that. So more space, name of the file is file 9. So if we display here, so this is nothing but first page information. So how much percentage is covered here? 70% of the file is covered now. So if we want to see the next page information, then we have to click on either space bar key. So if we press space bar key, then we got the next page information from 22 line to 42 line. So if we click space bar, then we will get next page. So likewise, we can use F key also, where F stands for forward. So we can move one page forward. Okay. Whereas if we want to see its previous page information, if we want to move its backward page, then we have to click on B key, where B stands for backward page. So 169 to 189. So totally here every page contains 20 lines of information. So if we click on B, then we will get the lines from 149 to 168 like that, or some 148 to 168 like that. So we got the lines from 148 to 168. Again, if we click on B, then we will get its previous page information. So what is its previous lines? From 20 lines. So 147 to 127. So 127 to 147. So likewise, okay. Whereas if we want to use the pages information line by line, then we have to click on enter. So 148, 149, 150, 151, 152, 153, 154. So likewise, we can view the information. So totally we have three options are there. So by using more command, we can view the file information page by page. So if you want to view next page information, then we have to click on either spacebar or F button. If you want to view its previous page information, then we have to click on B, where B stands for backward. Next, if you want to view the content line by line, then we have to click on the space enter button. Okay. If you want to come out from the more command, then if you press Q, where Q stands for quit command, we have to press small q so that we can come out from the corresponding command. Next we have two more options are there. If we use plus number, here we have given plus 101, then it displays the file starting from the line number 101. Okay, suppose if we specify 201, then from 201 onwards, then from 201 line onwards, we will get the information. Okay, whereas in place of f, if we use minus, then per page only those number of lines will get printed. By default, per page 20 lines will get printed, but I want to display only 10 lines per page. Then we can use -10, -10. Then per page only 10 lines will get printed. If you want to display only 5 lines, then -5 we can use. So let us work with those two options now. So more space plus, let the number is 101 here. Name of the file is file9. So now from 101 line onwards, we will get the information. So from 101 line onwards, we will get the information. Okay. Before 101 line, we will have the line numbers from 1 to 100 also. But here the starting line is 101. Okay. So if you want to see its next page information, we have to click on either spacebar or F. Okay. Let us see the next advantage. In place of plus, if we use minus, then what will happen is per page only those many lines will get printed. Here we have specified 10. So per page only 10 lines will get printed. Okay. If you observe here, so here the first page contains only 10 lines. Second page contains the next to 10 lines from 10 to 20. If we press spacebar one more time, then the next page contains the lines from 21 to 30. Next from 31 to 40. So likewise we will get the information. Okay. We will get the information. So this is about the advantage of the more command. Now let's see about the advantage of the less command. So by using less command also, we can do these activities. We can view the content of the file line by line. So let us work with them also. Less file line. So by using less command also, we can view the contents of the file page by page. So first we will get the first page information. Okay. If we click on either space bar or F, then we will get the next page information. If we click on space bar or F, then we will get the next page information. Whereas if we want to view its previous page information, then we have to click on B, where B stands for backward. Okay. Whereas if we want to, okay, next, if we click B, then its previous page will get printed. If we click B, if we press on B, then its previous page information will get printed. Here there are two more advantages are there here. If we click on capital G, then we will go to the end of the file. Whereas if we click on small g, then we will go to the beginning of the file. Okay. So if we want to view the file content line by line, so like more command, here also we have to press enter key. So here also the purpose is same only. By using less command also, we can view the contents of the file page by page. If you want to view its next page information, then we have to click either on spacebar key or F key. If we want to view its previous page information, then we have to click on B, where B stands for backward. If we want to view the contents line by line, then we have to click on enter key. Okay. Next, if we click capital G, then we will go to the end of the file. So now we move to the end of the file by pressing capital G. Whereas if you press small g now, then we will go to the beginning of the file. Here I pressed small g, so that we will be navigated to beginning of the file. So this is the advantage here. This is one more advantage here. Here if you want, we can perform the searching operation by pressing slash symbol. Let us assume that here we press slash. So if we type 8 here, then we can search for 8. This is nothing but a string here. So we can give, suppose if the file contains some text, then if we want to search for the corresponding text, then we will specify like this. So after the slash symbol, we have to enter the data that we want to search, the text that we want to search. Here I want to search for 8. So that here in this page, these are the lines which contains 8 here. Okay. So if we move to its previous page, here we have 2 occurrences of 8 are there. So those 2 are highlighted. If we move to its previous page, we have 2 occurrences. If we move to its previous page, we have 2 occurrences. So by using less command, we can perform the searching simply by pressing slash and specify the text here. Okay. Suppose if you want to come out from the entire command, if you want to come out from the less command, if you press Q, then Q stands for quit. We will come out from the command. Okay. So this is the advantage of the less command. The major advantage of the less command when compared with more command is less command is more faster than more command because it doesn't load the entire file once. Here the file contains 200 lines. If we uses more command, then all the 200 lines will be loaded initially. Whereas if we uses less command, then depends upon our operation, the corresponding lines will get loaded. So all the lines of the file will not be loaded once. This is the most advantage of the less command. Less command is very faster when compared with more command because of this reason. So this is about more command and less command.